Welcome everyone. In this video, I'll give you 5 home maintenance tips for your Ann Arbor area home to make it healthier, safer, and more enjoyable as the cooler weather and shorter days settle in. Tip number 1, check your radon level. Okay, you probably bought your home and had a radon test done as part of your home inspection process. The chances are good, I'll bet, you haven't checked it since. It'd be 10 years, 20 years? The point is that radon levels can change over time, so now's the time to do a radon test. Now it's easy to get a radon test. You can get it from the county, you can get it online, it costs $10. You leave the test in your basement and then you send it someplace and they send you back the results. You can also go to a big box store or go to Amazon and you can order a digital radon tester in the $100, $200 range. And these you can just leave up all the time and it just gives you a continuous readout of radon. If you want the most accurate test, you can hire a home inspector who has a high-end test kit that does a 48-hour continuous test. This is probably the most accurate. If the rating comes in above 4.0, you need to take action. Radon is a poisonous gas. It's a radioactive poisonous gas that causes cancer, and it's the #1 cause of cancer other than cigarette smoking. In Washtenaw County, the EPA says that 40% of the homes have a radon level above the threshold recommended for mitigation of 4.0. So it's the real deal and it should be dealt with. Since it's invisible, you can't see it, you can't smell it, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. I recommend that you do a radon test and make sure your levels are low. Now, if your levels come in higher than 4.0, then you're going to want to call a radon mitigation company, and we have several that we recommend. We're happy to give you names of a contractor if you'd like one. Tip number 2 is to check the batteries or change the batteries in your smoke detectors. Check your fire extinguishers. You should have at least 1 fire extinguisher, probably in your kitchen, and if you have a second one, maybe in your garage. And these should be checked periodically to make sure they're working and to also make sure that everybody in the house knows how to operate it. So along with that, you should also have a fire safety management plan. So this is something that you put together for your family, have a family meeting and review it, and even have a fire drill. Now, if there was a fire, how would you get out of every different room in the home? If you have a 2-story home, you might need some sort of safety ladder or some sort of planned way to get off of the house. Now let's move on to something that's a little more fun to talk about. Tip number 3 is to improve the lighting inside of your home. Now what's coming up, you know, is daylight savings time is going to end. And when that happens, it's going to be dark by like 6 o'clock, and you're going to have those lights on all over the house. So let's get the lighting right inside the home. 3 kinds of lighting to consider are ambient light. And ambient light is your overhead lights. And then you've got task lighting. Now task lighting is what it sounds like. Your desk lamps, your reading lamps, a couple different lights to really illuminate your work area. And then the third is accent lighting. Now, accent lighting is like the jewelry to an outfit. It adds a little bit of ambiance and character and pizzazz to your room. So lighting is a whole art and a whole industry of its own. Inside your home, it can be a lot simpler. Now the next thing to consider, and this is going to be a nerd alert, so I'm going to talk about color science a little bit. The thing you want to think about with light bulbs is the color temperature. Color temperature ranges from very warm to very cool, and what's called the CRI, color rendering index. So the higher the color rendering index, like a 95 or 99, the more realistic the colors will be. So most bulbs that you get at the hardware store or the big box store are going to be, if you're lucky, 80, CRI of 80. And that is like the bare minimum of what you want to get. But nowadays you can get LED bulbs that are very low wattage and very high color rendering index. And these are the bulbs you want to go for. So tip number 4 is to organize your interior spaces for functionality and for beauty. So this really means as we move inside, maybe pick a spot or a room that needs some special attention and weed it out, organize it, give away, sell, throw away what you don't need, move the furniture, make the flow through the room feel right, and just get it really super clean. That's a great way to really renew a space that maybe you've been taking for granted. Maybe the magazines and books have piled up 2 or 3 feet deep. Now you might really find that comforting. But for me, too much stuff sometimes starts to feel oppressive. So it's good to go through everything and thin it out, clean it up, and make that space really work for you. And And tip number 5 is to seal up the door jambs, the windows, go outside with a tube of caulk and go around the house and find any areas where air could be leaking in. Also take a look at your storm doors. Maybe you have a door that is not that airtight. Maybe you want to get a storm door installed. And we've got a great window and door person. If you need a recommendation for that, please reach out to me. Okay, that's it. 5 maintenance tips for the month of October for your Ann Arbor area home to keep it healthy, safe, and as enjoyable as it can possibly be for you.